It's 8:09. Well, what's the best way to rejig your budget after the interest rate cut? We've been inundated with your questions asking about the impact for fixed rates, credit cards and also renters.
Here to help answer some of them is Steve Mickenbecker from CANSTAR CANNEX. Steve, good morning to you. Let's get stuck straight into the questions. Alex in Victoria says, my bank hasn't passed on the last 2 rate cuts. Is there anything she can do?
Well, there is. I mean, there's a market out there. It's competitive. There are lots of suppliers, lots of providers. Some have passed it on. Now, my recommendation is to give a plug, go to CANSTAR CANNEX website and see what alternatives there are.
OK. But also the other thing is banks don't automatically pass on the rate cut to you as a customer. You have to ask for it to be passed on. So your bank may have cut rates, but because you haven't rung them up and said, pass the reduced repayments on to me, they probably haven't done it. The good news is you're paying off your loan quicker.
Exactly. I mean, they do pass the rate cut on. They always pass the rate cut on. What they don't necessarily do is pass on the repayment reduction. Now, if you choose to take the repayment reduction for other purposes, well, that's fine. But the banks say, well, look, you can actually continue to make repayments at the existing rate and pay it off earlier.
OK. Now, Nicole has written to us. She has 2.5 years to go on her fixed home loan contract. Is it worth breaking the contract?
Yeah, that's really tricky. A lot of people have got in at the wrong time, fixed at the wrong time. You know, they got in after 2 years of 6 rate increases, fixed because of fear, I guess, at the time, and now they're facing an interest rate that's a lot higher than they expected. Sorry, not higher than they expected, higher than the alternatives available. And they're facing a very hefty break fee, which isn't a bank charge. It's actually a real cost to the bank. So they're facing a very hefty break fee to do it. So they're in a really difficult situation. Do I take a fee of a couple of $1,000, of $5,000, or $10,000, or do I continue to feel a bit of pain? What they do have to remember is that they fixed because they felt they needed the certainty. That hasn't changed. You know, they've looked over the fence, the grass is green on the other side of the fence, but the certainty is still there.
All right, this has happened all pretty quickly. And remember, it was only back in March that we had a rate increase. So they've tumbled from that March level, and they look as though official interest rates could go to 2.5% or 3%.
Yes.
Now, with that bigger gap, is it worth looking at doing your sums?
It's worth doing your sums.
OK.
Is it the right thing? Everyone has to make their own call on that.
OK.
OK. Now, Glenda from Queensland has emailed us. She wants to know what the interest rate cut means for people who are renting.
Yeah, look, I don't think you'll see any immediate impact on rentals. Rentals are really determined by supply and demand in the marketplace. And supply is quite fixed at the moment. Yes, landlords are in a position where they'll make a little more, but until you see vacancy rates increase, I don't really see that rentals will go down. In the longer term, lower interest rates mean people build more. So there's more stock of housing coming onto the market, and longer term you'll see, you know, at least an improvement in the supply situation.
Another common question, when a credit card rate's going to drop, and small business loans as well, overdraft rates. Banks are really sneaky here. They haven't really passed that on in these areas.
I think the problem the banks have is they're anticipating higher default rates. So write-offs, a real cost to the bank as the economy slows. Now, because of that, I think they're reluctant to actually reduce and pass on all of those decreases.
OK. Any excuse for Westpac and ANZ not to have passed on the cut to home loan borrowers? If you're narky with Westpac, Gail Kelly, the boss of Westpac, that's her email address. Send through your displeasure. Gail Kelly, CEO at westpac.com.au. Just ask her why she's so stingy and dudding customers.
Yeah, look, I guess the position that they're in is that the market is still highly volatile, and they're concerned about the volatility and what that will do to their funding costs. So that's I think, the official reason for not passing it on. Now, when we look at margins, certainly the margins look to have been restored to a large degree. Funding looks to have settled a bit, and it looks as if there is room to pass on cuts.
So no excuse.
Well, especially because the others have though.
Exactly. But I think the excuse is that there's uncertainty and volatility.
Yeah, but that doesn't wash.
Yeah, well...
Just with Westpac and ANZ, there's...
Oh, no, with all of the banks.
But that's what I mean, the others have passed it on, so that...
All right. Thank you, Steve.
All right,
thanks for your time.
Cheers.